Water is a huge part of how everything works on Earth and a huge part of how chemistry works on Earth. Really, without water, and you probably learned this in biology, we would have no life here on Earth. Water is huge. We're going to talk a little bit about water this unit and how it interacts with other substances and what's so special about it. Why is water the molecule of life? What makes it so special? Okay, first of all, Earth is the only planet in our solar system that has any abundance of water. If you look at all of these planets, okay, one thing you notice about Earth is that it's blue, and that's because it is covered in water. Now, this one out here looks a little blue as well, but that's because of the gases that it has. There's our Earth. Over 70% of our surface is covered by water. Okay, so most of Earth is actually made up of water on the surface. And that is a huge, very important part of why Earth is the way it is. There's so much water on Earth. We have 326 million trillion gallons. Now, when you hear that, you might be feeling a little bit like this guy. Like, how much is 326 million trillion gallons? Well, it is a lot. 326 million trillion gallons of water on Earth. That's a lot of water, right? So, why do we worry about our water? You ever hear people think, don't waste water. Why do we worry about our water? Well, you've used water every single day of your life. It's about 6,000 days that you've lived, you personally, and there's approximately 6 billion people on Earth that are doing the same thing, and some of them have lived a lot longer than you and so have used water for many more days than you have. So with all of that 326 million billion gallons of water, there's so many humans on Earth that we're really using a lot of that water. And to compound that problem, less than 1% of the water is actually drinkable on Earth. 0.37% of the water on Earth is actually drinkable. So when we say don't waste water, well, sometimes that seems silly because you go, well, the whole Earth is covered in water. But most of that water we can't drink. So we need to be very careful with the parts that we can drink. Okay? So we're going to talk about water and some of the properties of water and all that good stuff. What would happen if we ran out of water? Do you even think it's possible for us to run out of clean water on Earth? What I want you to do in your notebook is to brainstorm the longest list that you can of different ways that you use water every day. Think about from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night, different times that you use water. Okay, and if you say drinking, you can't say like, oh, well, I have a glass of water, I drink it in the morning, and then I drink it from the drinking fountain at school. That's the same thing. So you only get to use drinking once. So pause this video, brainstorm as many thoughts as you can with a minimum of 10 thoughts on different ways that you use water. Okay, now you have these questions in your notebook as well. It says right here, it takes 120 liters of water to produce 1.3 liter can of juice. So it's saying that to produce this can of juice, it takes 120 liters of water. That's 60 2-liter bottles to make this. It also claims that it would take 450 liters of water to get this boiled egg to you for your breakfast. How is that possible? I want you to take a minute and see if you can answer that question in your notebook. If you need some help, you can discuss this with the other students in class, or you can ask for help from Miss Bankston as well. So pause the video, take a second, and see if you can't figure out why does it take 450 liters of water to get this egg on your plate boiled for breakfast. When we use water, we have two different ways that we can use it. We can use it for a direct use. This is when you literally are seeing or touching the water in front of you. You're using it directly. You're either drinking it, or you're using the water to wash your hands, or you're using the water to brush your teeth. Okay? Indirect use is water that's used to develop something. So you don't actually get to see the water, but you're indirectly using the water because you're using the thing that, well, the water made. So for instance, you're brushing your teeth in the morning. You're directly using water because you're turning on the faucet and you're rinsing your toothbrush with it. That's direct use. Indirect use is that it actually takes water to mold and produce that toothbrush. Now, you weren't there to see or touch the water that was used to make your toothbrush, but you're indirectly using that water because you're using the toothbrush. See if you can think of a couple more examples of these to put in your notebook, and then you can continue on to the next activity.